consciousness, when it's free from a sense of self, when it's not coming from a sense of me, is pure happiness. You don't need anything to be happy at this level of consciousness. You don't need to be loved. You don't need to understand life. You don't need to know the whys. Why are we here? For you recognize everything is one infinite happiness. When we look from the perception of ego, when we look from a perception of me, we suffer. We experience that we are separate from everything. Everything we see, everything we experience is separate from us. But this same consciousness can be freed from a sense of self. And then the nature of consciousness is infinite bliss. But it is not. A negation of the personal me. When you were a child, you were happy. You were yourself and you were happy. But when you got to a certain age, you became self-conscious. You cared what other people thought about you. You cared about your self-image. It's this obsession with this me. I know. I want, I fear, I worry. I want to understand. It is the drama of life. Is this me? Without this me, there is no drama. So what do? We become aware of this sense of I, this sense of me. In full acceptance of it, we become aware of it. We become aware of the thoughts that make up this sense of me. We become aware of the emotions that make up this sense of me. We become aware of subtler and subtler levels of this sense of me. The awareness is what is important. The awareness of this sense of me, we begin to recognize the awareness that is transcendent of me. The awareness that is a witness to this sense of me. The other direction is to turn our attention to bliss. Turn our attention to peace. Turn our attention to the feeling of consciousness that is beyond a sense of self. We do a practice like repeating a mantra, chanting a mantra. And over time we begin to feel the bliss in the mantra, and the peace in the mantra, the goodness in the mantra. The more we do the mantra, the more our attention is in the goodness, is in the bliss. Until we recognize the bliss even beyond the mantra. We recognize the bliss that is here with or without the mantra. And just by sitting with me in this moment, listening to this Shakti music, you may feel the goodness in this moment, and the bliss in this moment. And we give ourselves to the bliss. Any part of me that arises in this, we surrender. Any sense of a me that arises separates us from the bliss. Understanding, thoughts, knowledge, stories, trying to do this moment, trying to figure it out. Surrender all of it. Become simpler than who you think you are. Then you start to recognize the bliss that is beyond everything, the infinite happiness that is beyond everything. And that is already free. Then you don't need anything to be happy. You recognize there is only happiness beyond all sense of self. Consciousness itself. Consciousness in its purest form. Is happiness. So if you got something good out of this video, please feel free to comment. May you be blessed in her divine happiness. Much, much love to you. Much love.